Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new era of the M&K Productions podcast. We're coming from you from the M&K Productions podcast YouTube channel. I'm your host, Mac, joined here as usual by my confidant, my friend, my Ryan Gosling expert, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. How you doing today, Kristen?
I'm great. Ryan Gosling expert, Jake Gyllenhaal expert, Taylor Swift expert, all sorts of celebrity expert of expertise. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, and a lot has changed since last episode. I think we've
Yes.
got a few housekeeping things to talk about, and I know you're really excited because I'll give you credit. When Kristen first came on the podcast, this was one of her first ideas, and I said I think about it, and it took me at least 3 years to do it, but I finally did it. So you know what? Persistence pays off, kids.
We're
Persistence
getting there.
pays, yeah. But we have officially have our own channel. The M&K Productions podcast YouTube channel is now live. We're
Woohoo!
sitting at a comfortable 6 subscribers. We uploaded our last episode, which we talked about Night Harvest and went over some film news as well. And we did a little intro video to this welcome to the channel short, which is really awesome for us to just welcome you to the channel. And we're really excited to have all our podcasts, all our interviews, all our live streams and everything we're going to be doing on that channel as well. So this is going to be the first full episode that's going to be integrated on this channel everywhere. So it'll be linked in the description below. Not linked in the description, it's on the channel as well. So you give it a subscribe, and we're still going to be posting all our podcasts on Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, wherever you kids listen to your podcast too. And the older episodes will still stay on the Mac Movie Reviews channel, but then any new subsequent episodes will be on this channel as well.
Or bonus things that we do on the channel, anything like that will go to the channel.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, it
Correct.
would. And we are excited for that. So big thanks to everyone the support. We get the announcement went over like gangbusters on our Instagram channel, which was awesome. And also we have revamped our Patreon page, and we are excited to get that back up, launched, and ready to go. We tried Patreon before, and it didn't really. I would say it wasn't really. I didn't manage it well, so we're gonna try it again. This time it's link in the description to go on. It's going to be $1.50 a month. You get the first 7 days free trial to be able to just go in and get exclusive first access to our announcements that we have. I posted some announcements on our page on Patreon with our Patreon exclusives. They got to know what we're going to be doing first, which are really excited. They got some insight info, especially they got to know what the topic was for this episode we're going to be going on. Which is cool. So you get a little behind the scenes access. You just get first news, and you also get shout outs too. We will shout you out in all of our new episodes. And actually, speaking of which, we have 3 Patreons that we're going to give a shout out to beginning of this episode. So big shout out to our Patreons: Darius French, aka D Riptide, Lily Maxima, and then Audrey Hayes. Those are our 3 patrons for the month for this episode. Big shout out to them as well for giving support to the podcast and keeping it going for us for future generations. So if you want to go subscribe to our Patreon below, once again, you try for 7 days for free, and then afterwards it's $1.50 a month. This just helps us out, in our future growth and endeavors. We want to be able to do this full time, and it's just nice to have a little something saved away in the back end. And it supports the podcast, it supports
Yeah,
us.
mostly the Zoom.
Yeah, so it helps us in everything. And who knows, maybe if this thing takes off, we can go to TIFF together.
I would love
But
that. That's the career goal. That's probably should be the 10-year goal plan.
good, go to a film festival together. That would be awesome. But big shout out
We'll
to our
get there.
big shout out to the Patreons again. That's Audrey Hayes, Lily Maxima, and Darius French. Y'all are the real MVPs. And
I need to say something about Darius. I mean, that's great for Darius because he's been a guest a couple times on the show. So Darius, I appreciate that for giving us $1 a month, which is very, very nice. We were both very grateful for that. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's just awesome. And like I said, link in the description. Go and check us out today on Patreon. But we got a special episode for you today. It is currently the end of September going into October. So the topic of this episode is going to be great, the film we're covering and subject, because it gives us in the mood for that spooky Halloween feeling. Because we're going to be the folks at Shudder were kind enough to gift us early access to the new VHS film, aka VHS Beyond, which is the 7th film in the series. And this series is now 12 years old. Like, good God, the first one came out when I was 12 years old. I'm 24 now. Let that sink in right now.
That's a lot.
But we're going to be going over the new VHS Beyond film today, and then also going over some film news and giving you a little sneak peek about what we're going to be getting into our next episodes, especially with our upcoming live stream talking about the new Joker movie, which we're excited for, but we'll get more details of that. We'll get more details of that later on. But Kristen, do you have anything to add before we move on to the news?
No, but all I can say is I'm just so grateful right now to have the new YouTube channel, some Patreons. Like I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling very confident about ourselves. We're starting the train and it's moving on slowly, going to each station, picking up as we go. So I'm excited
Yeah, it's those little
for us.
the small steps that works because it'll matter in the long run, you know?
Yes. So on another note, I'm ready to talk film news. Are you ready?
Yeah, so let's get right into the news.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
All right, so the news for this episode, I'll start off with my news. It was recently announced that we're going to be getting Happy Gilmore 2. It's actually in production right now in New Jersey as we speak. So, Kristen, it's in your neck of the woods. And actually, they have a lot of the original cast is returning, except Carl Weathers because he passed away, but this character died in the first film, so that's neither here nor there. But they've actually casted a popular wrestler in the cast, and that's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, aka MGF of AEW. For all my wrestling fans, he is God's green gift to the earth, and he also made his film debut as Lance Von Erich in the small role in the Iron Claw. So he'll be joining the cast of Happy
Oh,
Gilmore 2.
oh,
And there's a lot. It's going to be on Netflix, I believe. I think they're
yes.
almost done finishing production, and yeah, this comes in the slew. I'm saying there's really going back to his classics, so we're getting a lot of sequels to his classic films. So, Kristen,
I'm hoping
are
it's
you?
good.
I know you're not a wrestling fan, but do you know of MJF? Have you ever heard about him?
I could probably recall his character in Iron Claw, so
Well,
that's a big thing.
one of his only 30-second scene in the ring. That's really
It
it.
was
Really
yeah,
that got
yeah.
cut out.
Oh, it got cut. Okay.
Okay,
Maybe I'm thinking of a different person then that
well,
was in the film.
it got cut down because he originally had a bigger role, but they cut it down. But he's in the
Okay.
movie, but he's a very good wrestling heel. He's in character 24/7 pretty much, and seeing him in he has a very charismatic aura to him. So I think him in film and TV is really good. I saw him in an episode of Practical Jokers. He was really really funny. But what do you think about Happy Gilmore 2? A lot of people were like kind of excited for this.
I think it's a good film to go back and explore. I mean, especially now. I do find it really exciting that it's like a going to be like a New Jersey production, and it is because the fun part is where I grew up, my hometown, they did auditions for
Oh.
people to be extras. They filmed in area that's by a nearby golf course that I'm very familiar with from I just don't go, but it's like a talk of the town, like golf course.
Mhm.
And Adam Sandler himself has been popping up at some local spots where I grew up, including a coffee shop where fans got like he's been really cool with fans taking photos, and I know he's always been like that from like, covering for him so long in the entertainment world. So
Mhm.
it's nice to see like somebody like that like be so popular and be recognized in my local town that I grew up. So I have a soft spot right now, Like I would love to be go in my hometown right now, just seeing like, oh, is Adam Sandler gonna pop up today? I think it would have been cool. So, I'm excited for the story. I mean, I'm excited. I think this is one of the most recent Netflix films. I think that's a comedy that I'm actually going to be excited about. And it gives me the chance to go back and visit Happy Gilmore because I haven't seen that film in a long time. I watched it a couple times growing up with
Gotta
my
get
cousins.
Subway when you watch it.
Yeah. That was one of the ones I watched with my cousins a lot growing up. That one and then Spider-Man, the first one with Tobey Maguire. So
Oh,
so yeah, I'm very excited. How about you?
I'm curious. Like I said, I think Adam Sandler has really found his groove with this Netflix deal because he can make all the money he wants. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the Netflix stuff he's been
Some of them
doing,
are good and some of them are not.
minus UB Halloween, a lot of
And
them,
minus the one he did with Taylor Lautner and the the ridiculous 7 or 6, what was it called?
the Ridiculous Six.
Yeah, that no.
But the sports movie he did was The Agent. That was a really good one.
Yeah, the Hustle, that was really good.
Yeah, but I think that Happy Gilmore 2, This is probably, if it does well, it's probably gonna open the floodgates to maybe do more sequels. So I expect to see maybe a Wedding Singer 2 or like The Waterboy 2 or a lot of the ones that really made his career with he probably will do that. And it's given him the light because he does give it his all with these Netflix movies because a lot of the last movies he did in theaters he was kind of half-assing it, but he's giving it his all. So I respect that, and I hope that Happy Gilmore 2 is successful.
Imagine if we get like a Big Daddy sequel with those Sprouse twins. Like, oh, that would be iconic. I would be like, do you know how popular that film would probably be?
It
So that was
probably
also one of my favorites. But yeah, my news, if you want to jump into that, this is something I think you're really going to enjoy, Mac, because it involves the infamous Morbius.
Good.
This is reported from Deadline. Jared Harris took Morbius role because he has a mortgage to pay. I mean, you need to insert that clip of like Coco Jones where it's like, I did it for a paycheck. Anybody would. You know that meme from TikTok?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that meme.
Oh, I gotta send it to you. But Jared Harris is sharing an honest perspective on his Marvel debut. The Golden Globe nominee explained that he keeps a sense of humor about his role in Sony's Morbius 2022 film, chalking up his appearance as a malignant Spider-Verse spinoff to a paycheck during the recent interview. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I got a mortgage to pay, he told British outlet iNews. Sometimes you have to say yes to things because you need to make money. Fair. That's all I'm going to say.
I was gonna say
Fair.
that is that's fair.
Like,
When I saw that quote, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. What was it? Because to relate to that, George Clooney always said like he'll never take a film for like paychecks again because Batman and Robin was such a disaster. And it's like it does put you in the mindset of like when a movie's so bad, it's like the actors can't you'll have some actors like, oh, I think it's still it was a good time to film and everything. But Jared Harris is like, listen, man, I got stuff to pay, so I just took this paycheck. So at least he's honest. When an actor's honest, when you're honest about what you're taking the film for, there's no problem. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not like he was like, oh, I was in love with the script, and I thought,
be honest.
Yeah, he's like, it's kind of the way like Nick Cage is, how open and honest he was when he had his debt, remember? So I'm also going to wrap up and say, Harris explained, I have observed those types of films that do well if you have a sense of humor. If you can't treat it as though it's Shakespeare. So yeah, that movie could have been done with more a mischievous sense of humor. And he played a father figure mentor to Michael Morbius, played by Jared Leto, who runs a facility for people with incurable illnesses. So yeah, that was one thing. I just thought that was a nice thing to go back to seeing our good pal, Michael Morbius. All right. What's your next sense of news, Mac?
All right. So, in filming news, the filming of Nobody 2 with Bob Odenkirk has wrapped filming and it's slated to come out next year, which I'm super excited with. Director I can't pronounce this. Timo Tajadanto announced on Instagram that shooting is officially wrapped on Nobody 2. This is going to be the sequel to the 2021 surprise hit with Bob Odenkirk as a former government assassin and how he pretty much had to take down his family and just keep his family safe. Not take down his family, take down the bad guys and keep his family safe. And the one thing about it is that this is actually the producers of it was Chad Stefanski, which, if you know him, he's the John Wick film, and he's going to be doing the No Ghosts of Tsushima film, which I'm super excited about.
And he just did the Fall Guy, right?
Oh, the Fall Guy, yes, as well. And Nobody was a really good film. It was like one of the first films I saw post-pandemic, and it was awesome. It's pretty much just, hey, here's an action movie, and this is going to be fun. And of course, having Bob Odenkirk be this.
Oh wait, no, that's not Chad Stahelski. Did not do.
David Leitch did.
David Leitch, excuse me. You can take that out.
So, like I was saying, having Bob Odenkirk being this kind of badass assassin was a good thing because he's Saul Goodman, Better Call Saul, and it's just awesome. And his dad, Christopher Lloyd, which is awesome as well. So you got RZA from Wu-Tang as well. And they got some new characters coming in for the sequel film. Sharon Stone is actually cast as the villain of the
She's the
first
villain of the film.
of the film too. But we got a lot of people coming back as well. Connie Nielsen, RZA, Christopher Lloyd, and of course Bob Odenkirk. So Kristen, did you like the first
Oh, I
Nobody?
absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It was like one of my top favorites of 2021. Thank you for reminding me. I almost said 2020. Absolutely adored it. Like the stunt work in that film, remarkable. Love it. Especially the bus scene. I cannot picture another perfect like action sequence. It's so freaking good. And I can't wait to show my husband the film because he hasn't seen it yet. But this is definitely a film I cannot wait to see. And I'm going to be rocking my kitty cat bracelet because I actually have a replica of that from the film. That's how much I love it.
The classic quote, "Where's the fucking kitty cat? Give me the motherfucking kitty cat bracelet, you motherfucker."
Yep. I have one of those and I'm so happy. I never wear it because I don't want to lose any of the charms because it's like a cheaply made bracelet. So I'm going to be wearing it once I go see Nobody 2. So do we have a release date for the film yet? I don't remember.
August 15th, 2025.
Oh my gosh, that's like around my birthday!
There you go. This is your birthday gift, and I'm just really excited. I think Nobody it's a good way. It started this 2020s off with just kind of this new age of action film because we were still like 2 years away from the new John Wick film, and this was great. And Tobey Maguire actually has his name as a producer in the first film too, so I wonder if he's going to be doing. I think it's his production company actually.
I don't see him on the Nobody 2 production side. I do remember that Toby was a part of the first film. I'm just double checking now to seeing if he is part of the sequel. Let me see. Is he? Bob Odenkirk returned to write for it. Or didn't he write the first one? I don't remember.
He did not write the first one. He was a producer.
Oh well, he's writing. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
He's writing it. So that's pretty cool.
The thing I like about these films too is that there's always that theory of like any film that has, because this does have some minds behind the John Wick films, like we all know this. I like whenever they have a new film or new something with it. It's like it could be like, is this all in the same universe? Because remember when Atomic Blonde came out and David Leitch did that, and people were saying that it actually takes place in the same universe as John Wick. That's the theory I heard, and I think they mentioned that they would love to do like an Atomic Blonde, Nobody, and John Wick crossover.
Oh.
And I think that would be really cool. But I don't know if John Wick would be. I mean, I guess we're getting Ballerina next year on Ana de Armas, and it's going to take place between the third and fourth movie. But would you like to see Nobody just stick to its own film and with like it not crossover or anyone else, or do you want to see like a little crossover with all three of those characters?
I would love to see. I think mostly Nobody and the John Wick films come together. Like I think that would be fun, but the story of itself, keep it separate.
Okay.
I think they would work better on their own, but I think it would be fun if anything, like a little cameo or like a nod, be like, something that points toward the John Wick universe and maybe his character doesn't maybe explore it or something.
Well, like, maybe they can. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Oh, maybe they'd be like, "Hey, we gotta stay at a hotel," and they go to New York. He's like, "Welcome to the Continental." They, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Like he stays there for a night and nothing happens or something, and then or like something like John Wick is like in the same building at that time, and like maybe it's like a gunshot or something. And, it's like, oh, wonder what that could be, like something like that.
I think it'd be cool to see them interact, but I think I like them keeping it separate.
I think we had enough of that scene with like the Marvel characters and knowing if it works well or not. So I feel like, I mean, it's cool that they interact if that's the case in the same universe,
I do believe that it was hinted at by either David Leitch or Chad Stefanski that these films may be connected in a way, but just not in a way we think. So there is a possibility they're connected, but we'll see. But I'm excited for Nobody 2. I think August 2025 shouldn't have any competition because it's going to be avoiding the summer just blockbusters of like freaking Jurassic World
and Thunderbolts
and Fantastic Four. So I think that this will probably beyond the cooldown period, but it still should do pretty well.
Yeah. So, very excited. I'm just happy that's going to be released on my birthday. That's really exciting, for the most part. And I'm happy that we're getting a sequel. That's what I'm mostly happy about. Finally, I'm just going to shout out and say that Hilary Swank has joined the season 3 cast of Yellow Jackets. As someone who wasn't totally crazy about season 2, I'm kind of excited to see what Hilary Swank is going to be doing in that series. Have you watched
Doing
Yellow Jackets yet?
No. She's gonna be doing Hillary Swank things. I have not seen Yellow Jackets, but my mom has watched it because Jennifer Coolidge was in the show, and I do like Jennifer
Yeah.
Coolidge, and I'm really confused on what the show is
Jennifer
about.
Coolidge was not in Yellow Jackets.
I don't know then. I don't know anything about Yellow
Maybe
Jackets.
you're thinking of the HBO series,
Oh,
the
White Lotus, wrong one.
White Lotus.
What is Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets anyway? What is
Yellow
this about?
Jackets is a TV thriller horror series that's on Showtime, and it stars Christina Ricci.
I know
Not
she's in it.
Christina Ricci.
What's it about? Like, what's the plot?
What's the best way I could say the plot for this? I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Oh, the girl from Ella Purnell's in it. Okay.
Yeah, Ella Purnell's in it. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I didn't think we were gonna go down
Oh,
a
here we
deep
go.
hole.
In 1996, a New Jersey high school girl started to travel to Seattle for a national tournament while flying over Canada. The plane crashes deep in the wilderness and starting to frustrated for 19 months. It is 11%. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of cool, I guess. That sounds like something out of that sounds like something out of The Gray.
it kind of is, and they're in the woods and stuff. There does involve like some kind of animal sometimes in the episode. People are dying. There's cannibalism that happens. There's a lot of stuff that happens.
It's told from the perspective of what happened in 1996 to present day.
Yeah, they go back and forth between time jumps.
Okay, I might have to watch it. I do like a show when a dog dives into the psychiatric traumas of survival and possible cannibalism. But I think that's cool. I might have to watch it.
And Christina Ricci is in it. I just forgot. I was going to say no, it's Christina Hendricks, but I'm like,
no, I saw
Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah, but like my brain cannot compute all the Christinas. That's like the thing with the Chris's. You know, sometimes when you say like Chris Pratt, but when you're talking about Chris Evans, you know, it's like one of those things.
Chris
you know
Pine.
how you're like Chris Pine or something like that. You know, it's like one of those things. And I'm like, no, wait, no, I meant to say this one. You know, it's like one of those times. But yeah, Hilary Swank. I'm excited to see her, what she's going to bring, because like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of season 2, but I also wanted to bring it up because our friend James Shaw is also a fan of the series. So shout out to James, and I wanted to acknowledge that show. But my final piece of news, are you familiar with Gia Coppola, Mac?
That is Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, right?
She is, yeah.
Oh
no, Giancarlo. It's her grandfather.
Oh, okay, then yeah,
she's
sort
younger.
of. I've heard of that name, yeah.
So she has a new film that just premiered at TIFF called The Last Showgirl, and Roadside Attractions has taken the North American rights to it. And like I said, the film is directed by Gia Coppola, and it stars Pamela Anderson in a career-defining lead role. And I knew about this film because I knew it didn't have like a distributor attached to it, and I was just like familiar with the work itself for a while. The movie, which is a great 94 fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm reading this article off of Deadline because this just came out. On Rotten Tomatoes, which critics take audiences inside the glittering worlds of Las Vegas entertainment through the eyes of Shelley, played by Anderson, a glamorous showgirl who must plan for her future when she closes after her show closes abruptly after a 30-year run. Roadside Attractions co-president Howard Cohen and Eric are I can't say that last name. Excuse me. I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'm really sorry. Remarked Pamela Anderson will bring some much needed stardust to the worlds of cinema this fall in Gia Coppola's extraordinary film. We are thrilled to join our friends over at Utopia to release the film into awards season. But it is going to be released sometime this year. But it does have a really, really good cast, which I'm really excited about. That includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Dave Bautista, Brenda Song, Kira Shipka from Sabrina, and Billy Lord.
It sounds like it's an interesting film. I've never heard about this until you just mentioned it. But if
Yeah,
it's making the rounds of TIFFs, it's probably gonna come out soon, maybe near the end of the year on the big distributor.
So it's Utopia and Roadside Attractions work together. They just worked with Utopia helped release whatchamacallit, Megalopolis, and they also just released Nick Jonas's film The Good Half. So, and those who don't know, Gio Coppola worked with a lot of great talent, including like, James Franco back then, before we knew him as not a nice person, in Apollo Alto in like 2013. And, that he worked on that with Emma Roberts. And then in 2020, it came out in 2021, Gio Coppola directed Mainstream, which is not a great film, that stars Andrew Garfield and Maya Hawke. It is not a great film at all, but it's a weird film. But The Last Showgirl, I'm actually excited about. So this one actually looks really good from what I've seen and what I've read some of the reviews for. And if you haven't seen Gia's work too, you can also watch her stuff on YouTube, because she's directed a couple of music videos for Carly Rae Jepsen, Gracie Abrams, and Halsey. But yeah, I'm excited for Last Showgirl. It's going to be good, I think. An interesting film. But knowing it's got Jamie Lee Curtis and Billy Lord involved, to sign me up, I'm ready for that. But yeah, that's my final piece of news. No release date yet, but we'll keep you all posted, hopefully.
All right. And if you have any news, and if you have any news stories for us, you can always leave them down in the comments below, and we will read it in the next episode. Or you can just send it to us on our Instagram at the MK Productions Podcast. It'll be linked in the bio description below. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. Let's go over the new entry into the VHS series, aka VHS Beyond.
Biggest discovery in human history.
All right, so today's topic brought to you by the great folks at Shudder. Thank you again for sending us an early copy of this movie. We're going to be talking about the upcoming newest entry into the VHS series, I guess now. Jesus Christ, 7 films. We're going to be talking about VHS Beyond. And if you don't know about what VHS is a group of series, which is an anthology show where you pop a VHS tape in, you see all these short segments, aka mini films, in this whole film. And it's what makes it unique is there's different directors that come in, they direct their own style, so each film has their own certain style. And this one, this has the grand theme of Beyond, like on our universe, and it has a few different names attached to it. And some of the people you may see that might be familiar from the section Stowaway, we got Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan, which are 2 names that are synonymous. I think are they married? Kate Siegel? Yep, they are.
Yeah.
They're they've combined with that. Justin Long did Fur Babies as well. And the first film, which we have a personal connection to, Stork, directed by Jordan Downey. If that name sounds familiar, that is the same mastermind who did 2007 Thanksgiving, which we covered on the podcast as the watch along, and I forced Kristen to watch. So to see him go from that to this, bravo, Jordan. I am proud of you, man. You deserved it. And it was
And I have
awesome.
to say, what a huge career achievement, because this is probably his best work.
Yes, it's hey, you gotta start somewhere, and I respect that. So Jordan, if you're listening to this, I respect that, man. You grinded the hell out of it, and you made a great anthology in the VHS genre. Now this has come out. This is it's early reviews are coming out for it. It's coming out October 4th on Shudder, which is gonna be
it's the same day as Joker.
Yes, and
and
there's
the Outrun, starring Saoirse Ronan. So lots of stuff coming out on that day. But if you're staying home and want to watch
the
the
horror
latest
movie.
Shudder movie, it's VHS Beyond.
Yeah, and yeah, this is a damn good film. Like I'm just gonna not even sugar. This is a damn good film.
It's, I want to say, no shade to Night of the Harvest,
Night
but
Harvest.
or Night Harvest. I thought it was
Yes,
Night of the Harvest.
I don't know.
It's a much improvement from what we last saw from when we last recorded, and I enjoyed it, and I think it's definitely my favorite sci-fi horror film. Because here's the thing, I'm not crazy about alien horror films because I'm just like, it doesn't excite me as much, not compared to like, like I would rather watch a ghost film, I think,
Uh,
than over an alien horror film. I'm like, all right, like, me, I'm not crazy about the Predator films. I do like the first Alien film. I actually love the first Alien film. I think that's like so good. But The Thing is great, but like it's hard for me to find a sci-fi horror film that I'm actually intrigued by.
mhm.
And I think with VHS Beyond, they did a lot of creative liberties with it and telling, different stories that how they all connect. But before we jump into all the different segments and the stories that happen in the film, Mac, I gotta ask you, do you believe in aliens?
Yes,
You do.
yes. So I'm like one of those ancient aliens. I'm actually a contributor of the show Ancient Aliens. So that meme of the guy was like, it was aliens. It's all real. So aliens have contributed everything to society. So that I'm just fucking around. But I do believe that in this vast universe, we're not the only organisms in here. And then people are like, well, we know bacteria and all that. No, 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 no. There are things out there that we may not be able to comprehend, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you there's stuff like this exists. Now, it's to the extent that science fiction has said these aliens will look like they do or something, but there is something out there because you're not telling me that there's stuff we're getting or hearing light years away that isn't random. But yes, I do to an extent believe in aliens.
Yeah. I That's a fair answer. And I will say, this film did make me somewhat believe there is life out there
Mm-hmm.
beyond Earth. I will say that because of the stories. I will say though, there was just one of the stories in this film that just didn't, I don't think it meshed well for me because of the way the events were playing out and all of them. And I really liked most of them.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your favorite story segment in VHS Beyond?
I like Dream Girl.
Dream Girl was something absolutely wild.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. And that one we won't get too into it, but the dance sequence of the Bollywood thing with the song and dance,
Uh-huh.
something I was not expecting to see at all. And
No.
I enjoyed it. And there's lots of body horror in it, and then that segment itself, there's another segment in this one that involves body horror to an extent, but lots of blood, I think, in that one, that out of all of them, because of the stuff that happens with one of the characters in that story. Without, I'm trying not to give too much away because I feel like if I reveal it, it's
Uh-huh.
gonna ruin it. But Dream Girl was definitely the one, and Dream Girl was directed by Virat Paul. Am I saying that right?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said Dream Girl's directed by Virat Paul. Am I
Yes, and
saying
written
that?
by Evan Dickinson as well.
Yeah. What did you like about Dream Girl?
I think it's just the fact that it kind of pokes fun at paparazzi and it explored about like Bollywood. And I think that the reveal of what was Tara in the trailer um was a really good reveal too, because you're like, oh my god, what's going on? It's like, oh shit. And the dancing scene was great because it reminded me of Eternals with the dancing sequences.
I forgot about that. But the one I also really liked, I do want to acknowledge the Thanks Killing director, Jordan Downey, with the beginning one, because the way it opens and the way it feels like it feels like you're playing like a video game. You remember like Hardcore Henry and that
Yep.
when that was like that's what it reminded me of. Like you're in like don't get me wrong, it's like an RPG like shooter type game, you know, where you're walking around. Like it made me feel like you're playing in like almost like a version of like The Last of Us, like a horror thing. You know, maybe like of that kind of like realm, like you're playing like a video game. And I thought that was like a really cool aspect. But Downey made it very intriguing, I must say, with all the different shots and you know the panicness of it. You really felt that
Yeah.
with the alien that's involved and with all the police together. You know, I really dug it. I really dug it. I even had to pause the film so I can grab my husband and be like, Dilly, you gotta see this. You gotta see this. You gotta see this, at least this one, because he wasn't watching the film with me. And he saw at least a good chunk of that one. And he thought it was really, really cool. So
Can I also give a shout out to Justin Long of like how he's found like a new avenue with his career with the horror movies?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he dabbled in it with Drag Me to Hell in 2009, which is a interest. It's not the best movie, but I like the ending of that because it's like, oh my god. But you know, he did Barbarian and he's done like a
He's done
lot
other horror.
horror film. It's just he's
House of
has
Darkness is one where he did with his his wife Kate Bosworth,
yeah, just to go
which
from
is a
that,
vampire film.
just to go to Alvin and the Chipmunks to helping make a segment in VHS is just shout out to him, man.
Oh yeah, he was in A Wonderful Knife where he played like I think it was like the mayor or something. Like it's not a great film, but I remember that. He's been doing a lot of that yoga horses. Like he made like a cameo in that Tusk, which I don't like,
Listen,
you know, but
Tusk is a acquired taste movie because
that is so awful. I hate Tusk.
But what film segment do you think was the weakest in this film? Because I personally I wanted to like it, but I didn't like Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. That one was
The skydiving one.
oh, I liked that one. I thought that one was
See,
good.
I didn't
The
like it.
that one with the aliens in that one scared me because it looks like a spider and the way that it has like lasers
Yeah,
and like a sword or something. I was like, nope, nope, no. I was like, I almost had to like cover my eyes. Like, I never do that. Like, I actually felt like fear in me, and I was just like, no, I don't like this.
you know what's funny though? I want to talk about the last film, Stowaway, by Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan. So as you know, I am a big fan of Mike Flanagan. I love
Yes.
Hush. I like Doctor Sleep. I think he's one of the best horror directors we have
Mm-hmm.
working this year, or working in this generation. Oculus is really good too. I recommend Oculus as well. But his wife, Katie Siegel, she was the star in Hush. She was the deaf lady. They did this last one, and that last one really reminded me of this movie in 2017 that was produced by Ridley Scott, which was called Phoenix Forgotten. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you and me are the only people that do. With Phoenix Forgotten, that was one where you know, the Phoenix Lights happened and these kids went to
Yes.
it was trying to be Blair Witch, but with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
I remember
man,
seeing the previews for that.
and I was just like, okay, that movie wasn't good. So then they did this, and I go, okay, this isn't bad. And I think Stowaway was a good, because with all the VHS films, you've always had you've had like, oh my god, they got that director to do it. Like, oh my god, like they got like a big name director. And I think Stowaway was like, hey, we got these big name people doing a segment in there
Attached to
too.
it.
Yeah, because even in the first VHS movie, they had Radio Silence before they were big, who would later go on to do Ready or Not and Scream 5 and
Mhm.
6. They came in and they did a segment with it. And
Right.
like I said, I think that's what makes the VHS series so unique, is that you can just have these, I would say these clashings, but these different visions of filmmaking and horror, and like you just say, hey, we're gonna give you all the keys you want, just keep it consistent with the theme we're doing. And you know, this theme is about aliens and you know, outer space and the beyond. And I like how this series gives directors and writers the opportunity to just go and be creative, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, and the fun part about it, because then if they don't want to, because this is like a form of way to tell a short film. And it is stuff where you're watching a bunch of other like short films, like where you don't have to go beyond exploring, where it does what it wants in the short span of like 15-20 minutes.
Mhm.
And it's just enough to understand what the characters are, what they're doing, the goal, and then their end result. It goes bang bang boom, simple story structure.
Of course.
And I just wanted to say the one thing, also bringing up YouTube with radio silence and stuff and all that stuff. There's a YouTube people featured in it, and I had no idea who they were. Nico and Sam from Corridor Digital.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with them?
I've never heard them, no.
Yeah, I had to look them up to be like, wait, is this legit? Like, I was like, wait, they have almost 10 million subscribers. I was like,
Oh.
holy God, how do they end up in this? Because they do like all sorts of like stuff with creepiness and seeing them attached to this, I thought that was kind of cool. Like I was not expecting to see them and all, but I liked it. Like I just thought they were cool guys like themselves, so it makes me want to go check out the YouTube channel. Now, the one problem I had with this film is the one segment where we're bringing up Justin Long and Christian Long, who I believe, and what I've got is Justin Long's brother, I want to say. But to me, their short didn't really fit well, personally speaking.
It wasn't the theme of aliens or
No.
anything. It was just kind of like, yeah, taxidermy. Okay.
Like an extreme weird side to Norman Bates. And, it's a very cool concept. I was very much into it.
Mhm.
But with the package deal of itself, it does not fit. I think. I think that they got Justin Long involved and said, hey, do what you want. And this is what they came up with. And
It wasn't terrible. It's just
it just didn't fit well for me. Like when I'm sitting here looking at Dreamgirl and Stowaway, it just didn't work. Like what it was doing in the end and what the main character, what was focused on, because there's a character who's very much into taxidermy, we will say.
Yeah.
And the way the events play out in the beginning, like I was like, okay, this could work. Like I thought it was an alien invasion involved with that story, or like something like another being that's not like maybe a human being that's from Earth, or an animal that was like an alien. No. And the way the story plays out, I do like the characters. I do like the characters in that short, or that segment, I should say. The end result, like I was very curious to see, like, and seeing like how more of it could be played out. It just didn't work for me with the end of the package deal. Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel what you mean. Yeah.
Because like I think all the main five. There's five, correct? Or six? 5 or 6?
2, 3, 4. There's 4 short stories, and then the overall frame narrative with abduction and adduction. There's technically 5.
Yeah. Okay. That was the only one that just didn't fit well. Like honestly, VHS wanted to do something on just animals, which I think they could probably do. It would fit perfectly with it, I think. But for this story and this, what it's building towards, and believing there is afterlife and there is another being, it doesn't fit. It does not fit.
No.
I would have cut that. Personally, I would have cut it. But sure, they would have lost money on it. But personally, if they just saved it for a different film, fine. But that was the only main issue I had with the film itself. I think Stowaway was good. I just didn't like, I wasn't crazy about the cinematography for it. But all the other ones, if I had to rank them, Dreamgirl was probably my fave. The very first one was my fave. I can't think of the one that was called. Let me see. I have to go back at my notes. Stork, that one was really good. And then Live and Let Die, because those 3 really stuck out to me. I know you say you weren't a fan of Live and Let Die, but it just fit well because I was thinking of it also as like a YouTube segment, the way that the trip of the group of people that were on a plane and
Yeah.
going skydiving.
Mhm.
And I thought it was funny because there was a character in it that looked like a little bit looked like Logan Paul to me. And there is a character named Logan.
We did it on purpose.
I feel like they did that on purpose to do that. And the kid doesn't look exactly like Logan Paul, but I just thought it was like that because they're talking to somebody like a vlogging type trip.
Mhm.
They're not saying like and subscribe and all that stuff, but it felt like I was part of a YouTube channel, you know? Like they
Yeah.
were in the process of making it. And I thought that was kind of cool. But I liked this a lot more than 1994 VHS. Because we also reviewed that on the channel as well.
We did.
I still have my copy of it actually too. So I haven't revisited it since, but I think this is probably my favorite out of the films of the franchise. You know,
Mhm.
what do you think?
I still like the first one. You can't really beat the first VHS.
Mhm.
And I always thought like, okay, they keep it going, it's gonna get stale. But Beyond, it kind of breathed new life into the franchise, and I'm excited to see what they do more. If this is like the last one they want to do, then that's fine. But I can't see that, with all this good like perception it's beginning and everything. Like it's sitting at an 80% Rotten Tomatoes.
That's good.
So
So
I think it's gonna be a lot more length with this, and the fact that Shudder was like, "We'll take it," I think that's pretty good. So I
yeah,
think VHS is good, but yeah, this is definitely. I like the '90s one was okay, but I think I like this one as well. It doesn't
it's
surpass
certainly better than Viral.
Yeah, it doesn't surpass the first one for me because nothing. I don't think any of the future ones that they do will do it for me, but I think I still like this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna recommend it. I'm just gonna tell people just skip Fur Babies, honestly, to make it work, to keep it a consistent flow, for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna recommend it. Strong enough for me. Definitely one of my favorite though films of horror that I've seen this year. I will say that.
I'd say that too because I'm trying to think like a lot of the horror movies I watched this year. Nothing has really caught my eye yet.
Oh, you've missed a lot then, Mac. You missed a lot then, because there's been so many good horror movies, I must say, this year with everything I've seen. I don't know what you missed. I mean,
I have to go
just
back on my letterbox and see because I probably saw something I just can't think of off the top of my head. But
you gotta watch The Substance. Dylan and I watched that. Oh my god, we both loved it. Strange Darling is great. I really liked Lisa Frankenstein. Long Legs was great. I saw Speak No Evil, the Speak No Evil remake. That was really good.
Mhm.
So I think this year has been a really, really good year for horror. I think maybe better than last year.
Hmm.
It may be better than 2021, I must say.
You mean 2023?
No, 2021 was the year, like I'm looking back at my list from
Oh, okay.
Letterboxd, and I'm looking at films like from that year. I barely had any horror ones, like Nightmare Alley, maybe we want to consider horror. Quiet Place, like that one was a year where
Okay, let me say Quiet Place day one was actually really good. That's like one of my favorites of the year this year. That I saw.
Not quite, yeah, Quiet Place Day One, definitely a great one, but Quiet Place Part Two was 2021, but in 2022 we had where's my list? One of my favorites fresh. We had Scream, we had A Wounded Fawn one, also one of my faves, The Menu. We had Pearl, we had X, and then in 2023 we had let's see, we had films like Renfield, if you want to say that's like also in the realm of horror, Infinity Pool, Scream 7, oh no, Scream 6, I almost said 7. We're in that phase of right now of production. The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, I must say it's a better year than I must say, I guess, than the last year. 2020 3 and 2022 or 2021 were pretty horror weak years for horror film, but this year and 2022 have been my favorite for horror. Sorry, that was like, it sounded like a lot.
Yeah, so VHS Beyond was good. Would recommend giving it a shout out. shot this holiday season, the spooky October season. And like I said, special thanks to Shudder for giving us this film early for us to watch it. Really appreciate it. We've loved a lot of the films that sent us early. My final grade with it, I'm gonna give it at least maybe a B plus, maybe A minus. I want to rewatch it again on Friday when it comes out to see if I really want to give the definitive grade. It may make the list for the top 10 best films of the year for me at least, but I have to really marinate on it. But right now, I'm gonna give it at least a B plus.
I would give it a B plus, but it's got the only, like I said, the only segment that doesn't fit is fur babies. Even though I still had a great time with it, I'm still gonna give it a B.
Okay, that's fair. As I'm gonna rewatch it, so the grade may change as well. But let us know down in the comments below what is your favorite VHS film and what's your go-to horror films in general, since they're gonna be in the spooky seasons. I'm curious, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we should wrap up this podcast. Kristen, you want to tell the good folks what we have coming up for future episodes?
Yes, we're gonna review another spooky film to be determined, and we also have our special Joker 2 live stream coming up on October 13th. Time is still being discussed, and those are the main ones. We are still in the process of figuring out the main Halloween episode, but we're still spitballing ideas, but we have some ideas for future episodes. So
Yeah, and we're excited for the Joker live stream. It's going to be live on the YouTube channel. We're going to be live during StreamYard. It's going to have great guests all around. It's going to be a normal podcast episode, but it's going to be live. Like Bill O'Reilly said, F it, we'll do it live. And that's what we're going to do. And we want to try to do more live stream as well, too. Also, I think that's all I got, too. I really don't have anything to add. So I guess just look out for those episodes and, give us a subscribe. We're on the YouTube channel. It's a new day for us.
the new dawn, it's a
But
new day.
But I think we're going to wrap up this episode. We want to thank you all for listening again, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you follow us on Instagram, the Talk Tick, our YouTube channels as well at the Miss Flamingo. She posted a new interview past couple days ago, and then with the Mac Movie Reviews channel, give me a follow too. I'm going to be starting the 31 Nights of Halloween soon. And make sure you support us on Patreon. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters as well. You know who you are. Link in the description for all that. And until next time, I've been Mac. This has been Kristen, and you've been listening to another episode of the Emicated Productions podcast. Peace.
Bye.